Zelators, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. For all these years, the African has lived under the shadows of other people. People have taught us what they think is right, and we have been following this script for a very long time. And the same people that are putting us through this are the ones who are still rising to tell the world how best they have been able to live and how best they are changing other people and helping other people. But today, a top Russian man has just exposed these people, telling them how they see themselves is not how other people see them. One, when we look at the things that they have done in Africa, the disrespect that we have received, the looting, how France is always in its colonies, taking everything. How they present themselves to the world is not how the world see them, especially Russians. The Russians don't see them that way because they are involved in a lot of things, slavery and a lot of things. So when you look at the things that they are involved in, they don't have the right to tell other people what they should do. And that they are always in the position of control to tell other people what they should do, how they should live their lives. And when they lose that, it becomes a problem. And with that one, the president of Russia has also confirmed, Vladimir Putin, saying that they believe that they have the moral justification to rule other people in the world. But in actual sense, every other person has a right to rule him or herself, and that the only thing that they can never come in terms with is not that one day somebody will attack them, but one day they will lose the power to control other people. We have even seen the resolution that was passed even in EU Parliament against our all-in-all General Abdurrahman Chiani, that they want him out so that Bazoum will come. That they go around preaching morality to other people, but they are not themselves the things that they preach that they are.
American President Trump.
Yes.
Is he the man who can stop this development on the road to hell?
Sounds like a great song, Road to Hell. Well, it's extremely important because you get into this very important, I would say, moral discussion. Let me put it this way. From Russian perspective, what came from Europe? Fascism, Nazism, slavery, Untermensch. And Obermensch? What good came from Europe? You cannot find even one single European country, maybe Switzerland, that hasn't gained from colonies, from robbing other countries and people, from humiliating them, and been always in a position that they think that they have this moral advantage, that they can tell everyone else what to do and how to live. Isn't it? The way we see you is completely different from the way you see yourself. You think that we have to explain you something. We think that you should explain yourself to the world and admit responsibility for all the evil and all the deaths that you brought to other continents, for disrespect to the countries and people that suffered from European countries, starting from Belgium in Africa, France in a lot of colonies, Germany. It's hard to find a country that has not actually created awful crimes against humanity in its history. But Europeans think that it's okay, and they're still in a moral position to teach everyone else democracy and other stuff. We are now fighting war. We're not fighting against Europeans. Once again, we're fighting against evil. And it's up to Europeans either take it or not. Let me remind you that we even managed somehow to find words and to even help Germans at certain moments, in spite of all the awful crimes that they committed in our motherland. But now, when there's a common European narrative about 1 million German ladies raped by Russian soldiers, and it's bullshit.
After the Second World War?
Of course. It's complete bullshit. The only army in which there was criminal punishment up to death sentence for the crime against civilians was Russian army. Of course, there could be certain cases, but for those cases, people would be killed by the decision of the court.
Well, I'm not here to debate you, but I would say on this point, you would have strong evidence against your
case. Yes, and we have strong evidence. But
let me try again.
But you have strong evidence about what Americans' troop did with Germans, with Italians. That you would have strong evidence. But all the strong evidence that you would start exploring, suddenly you will find out that a lot of it is complete fake.
I try to find in this conversation, I'm desperately trying to find the Vladimir Solovyov who once must have been also inspired and fascinated by the West. Otherwise, you wouldn't have taught at American universities. Isn't that too much bitterness now speaking out of you?
That's been completely different West. America of the 90s, Europe of the 90s has nothing to do with modern days. Could you imagine any leaders of modern Europe to be leaders of Europe back in the 90s? Could you imagine people like Kaja Kallas being anywhere close to the European authorities with this level of education and with this, negative IQ? It's not even zero, it's negative. It's a disgrace.
Easy targets.
Come on, they are your leaders. Bring me hard targets.
Many people in Europe would agree with you and say we have a leadership crisis in
So it's
Europe.
not my problem, it's your problem. But those leaders are the ones that, once again, $90 billion for the weapon for the Ukrainian Nazis to kill Russians. Oh, yeah, great.
Of course. I mean, we could talk for hours about the sins of our forefathers. I could make a list of problematic political decisions in the Soviet Union. For example, I mean, Soviet Union, come on, it was a Bolshevik system.
What was wrong with Soviet Union? Tell me.
What was wrong with the Soviet Union?
Yeah, what was wrong with Soviet Union? How Bolsheviks were bad?
Gulag?
Of course. And at this time, how many people were imprisoned in the United States? For the political reasons or for being black? Or, for example, what happened with Japanese citizens of the United States and German citizens, nationals, German nationals and the Japanese nationals that used to be citizens of the United States. What happened with them?
I agree.
Weren't they imprisoned? Okay. Tell me exact numbers that were killed by the Gulag. And you'll be surprised when you'll find out that it has nothing to do with what actually has been transmitted in the West. When they're talking about Gulag and awful Russia, that is true. Would you mind remembering what happened at the same time in Poland?
Yeah, but, I mean, do the misdeeds and the crimes of others justify the bad deeds of the own side? No, of course. So
let me remind you, why are you calling this crimes? Because we have to judge it from the position of this historic epoch. Was it any different from what was happening at this time in Free Finland, in Poland, in Nazi Germany, in democratic United States? Well, of course, awful Soviet Union. But what happened with other countries at the same period? Weren't they actually on the side of God? On the good side? On the right side of history? Knock, knock. Who's there?
Now, how can they be living on things that they have taken from other people? Disrespecting other people, wiping out the culture and other things from other people, yet they still sit down and tell the world how they are changing humanity, how they are for humanity. Africans are still in that trap that we need other people. Look at the election that took place in Uganda, whereby Bobi Wine was quickly sent there. And the whole of the youths that were supporting Bobi Wine were so excited that finally these people are speaking out. But one thing the African hasn't realized is that these people don't fight for your interests. I hope we have the information that will change our mindset. We also saw the agenda they pushed in Tanzania against the Tanzania government. But later on, with the episode I showed you, Joshua Mamponga explaining things, how things were funded to even stage the protest. Today we buy into the narrative of what they have said. We all fell for it until now that Joshua Mamponga exposes a lot of things and we still have doubts. Please, whatever we see these people championing is for their own good. And Russians are asking, the Russian man is asking them, if you have done all these things to humanity, the crimes you have committed against humanity, stripping people off of their identity, Look at the slave trade. The pain people have gone through. The pain that people are still going through. Because you are not allowing the people to rise, to claim everything that is for them. Then you sit down and tell us how pure you are and how you are helping humanity, that we don't see you the way you see yourself. And Africans must learn to understand that there's nobody that can come here and help us. We need to change the way we see the people who preach help to the African. Nobody is here to help us. Like those two ladies who were in France and they spoke to the French president that you come into the continent claiming you are coming to give us aid. You are coming to save Africa, but nobody is saving Africa. You are here claiming that you are to develop Africa, that if you cannot produce something, you cannot develop it. So Africans can develop themselves. That you are the ones who need Africa. You are depending on Africa. You are taking the things out of Africa. And when you finish, you'll be preaching to the world how you are here to help us. You are always having things that you name African Development Plan, that stop it, because Africans are developing by themselves. And the African must understand and see the people that we trust so much that they are here to help us. And the way we have been programmed is so painful that the Africans sit here and all we think about is how other people must come here and help us. With the information available to us, we are still not ready to change and to see that we need ourselves. Why is it that the leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso took office? Sometimes we think that they took office because they love power, but that is not the case. They took office to break away from this systematic change. The people we see that they love us because they preach their love to us aren't the way the world sees them or other people see them. We are still blaming each other for our problems. The Africans haven't seen who the problem is. And that is why when things are difficult in the groupings that they gave to us, we'll still be pointing fingers at our brothers and sisters who came into our countries and claim that they are taking our jobs. They are not supposed to do ABC. They are foreigners. Who is a foreigner on your land in Africa? If outside of the continent you're a foreigner, how then do you still see yourself even in your continent as a foreigner? The people that are causing us the pain are somewhere, and we are blaming one another. We are still seeing them as the angels, the protectors, the saviors. So whenever there is a problem, the African is still sitting down waiting for these same people to come here. They come in the name of aid. They come in the name of a lot of things. They come in the name of a lot of things. But at the end of the day, we do not see the problems being resolved. They have been here for all these decades and centuries, trying to help the African after they have caused the problem. But are they actually tackling the problems? That should tell you that you need yourself as an African. Africans, we are moral people already. So you don't need somebody to come and teach you religious and moral in the school before you know morals already. Because these things are part of the African. The way the world sees them is not the way you see them. Because you have been programmed to see them as your saviors. So the African doesn't look within himself for solutions. We always want to look outside. And we always want validation because they have set a standard, and we think that by being civilized, by being modernized, we need to follow all these things that they have created. I hope when we listen to these things, it changes the way we think, the way we see things. Because majority of us sometimes, even though we have all this information available, we still talk and see that when things are difficult, we need them. Especially when something is happening in the continent. The first people we are calling on are these same people. The African will never say it has come to a point that when something is happening, I need myself. What do I need to do so that things will be this way? These are the things the leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are trying to break away from. And they are trying to open the eyes of the African. Yet the African is still sleeping. But I hope this will change the way we see things and the world itself. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided before. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world. In Europe, in Russia,